for you. Yes, I do. I'm like your angel of love, girl. I've come to see you through. So when you cry, let me wipe your tears. When you're scared, I wanna be there to calm your fears. When you're in need, baby, ring my phone. I'll run right over and we'll make love all night long.
What is? What's
happening?
How y'all doing, man?
Awesome.
You doing good, Robert Hazard?
I am fantastic, man. I will not complain.
Big guy Rainey in the building with us on this evening, man. Great to see you, brother.
Hey, great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Definitely want to catch up with you about some of the things that you're doing, your morning show and all of that good stuff, man. But you are a face that we certainly love to see drop in the cave, man. And it's good to see the regulars, man. And we know we already have some chemistry and banter with. So great to see you, man. Thanks for thinking it not robbery to come and hang out with us.
No problem, man. It's always great to be here, you guys. It's always fun.
Mel, you got your sexy on tonight. I see you. You serving as eye candy for the evening.
Nah, I'm serving as my wife got it hot in the house.
Well, you gotta navigate it and use what you got to get what you want. So
Man, listen.
We get
I'm
to see
glad when she go through the change because I'm like, girl, I'm hot.
You say that now, but that's all right, man. We're not mad at the gun show for the evening. Robert Hazard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing, Big Daddy?
I am fantastic, man. I thought I was going to have to host tonight, and I was like,
hey, man, look here. You are more than capable, as last week showed. So,
I'm good.
All you guys are more than capable of sitting where I sit, because I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing special. I guess Glenn Big Head Murray will be. Did I say that? Glenn will be joining us shortly. He's moving about the country as he typically does, so I think he'll be maybe checking in from an Uber or something, coming from an airport, or doing what he does, man. But at any rate, we're gonna rock and roll like we always do. Glad to see some of the regulars dropping in. Hey June, how are you? TJ, I see you. Hey man, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, man, this evening. First, I want to certainly talk about the loss of Jesse Powell this week. Beautiful first tenor, man. Had that beautiful solo out some years back called You. But I think he was Chicago born. Was he not, Mel? Do you know if Jesse Powell was Chicago born? Yeah. Yep. So definitely, man, want to pay some homage to that brother, man, and let everybody know that we're thinking about his family and appreciative of his gift and all that he shared with us, man. I don't know if y'all feel the same way I do, man, but I feel like I'm losing somebody every week. I don't know if this is just what it feels like when you get older or what, but it's a big old stupid old fat old drag guy is what it is. It's just it's a drag, but we have to keep it moving and we have to keep their memories alive as best we can. So, but again, our condolences out to that family on that loss. Hey man, I wanna jump into something kind of funny, kind of quick, because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I was having a conversation with a lady this week, and she was telling me that she has started dating a guy, and prior to dating this guy, she had taken the position that she was kind of done with the whole dating move, right? She wasn't going to date anymore. She had done enough of it and, no longer had the appetite for it. But there were always guys, trying to get in that spot, right? And so, in a sense, there were always guys trying to convince her that it would be worth it if she took a shot on them, And so she finally decided to date a guy. And she told me that she gets some of the nastiest inboxes and emails. Hey there, Miss Connie. Nichelle, we see you. From guys that were interested in her before she started dating that guy. and it made me think, man. I want to ask you guys, and I'm gonna start with the gun show. Who do you think is pettier when they have lost the object of their desire to another person, men or women? Do you think if a woman has her sights set on a guy and he rejects her, whether he does it in a humane fashion or not, he rejects her, and then soon after, who he has chosen, he shows up and presents with. Do you think women tend to take that more personally, or are they pettier with it, or are men?
I think men are, bro.
Yeah.
I think unequivocally, men are, because it's more ego involved, and it's like, who this dude, and what, why not me? Women might think that, but they don't say it. They don't vocalize it as much as men do. Men are definitely, you know what I'm saying, and to the point where I let me know when that don't work out. You know what I'm saying, instead of wishing them well, it's like, all right, when that don't work out, you know what I'm saying, come holler at your boy.
How happy are you really?
Right.
With your new choice.
Right.
Guy, talk to me, man. If I remember, man, you're aren't you married?
Well, I'm a widower.
You're a widower. I'm sorry.
Bro.
You were married. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
talk to me, Barry White. Talk to me.
Well, I agree. I agree that men are more petty when it comes to that. I think we always have been. With our cat calling, and even if a woman rejects us on the street, we have something negative to say to her. Me personally, I never talk to women on the street. I just didn't do it. It was not my style, because I was a DJ, and I DJ in the clubs and everything. That's like shooting fish in a barrel. So that was my choice, but I never talked to women on the street. The other thing I didn't do was talk to women that had a scowl on their face. Like, some guys approach a woman with a scowl on their face. Oh sis, why you frowning? Oh mom, why give me a smile. Me, if she's frowning, it's a no-go.
I have some similar rules. Like, for example, when I'm doing the music thing or whatever, I typically won't engage a woman at my show. Like after the show, after I've been on stage or whatever, that's not the time. I did that one time, and I regretted it. And I kind of, I did it begrudgingly then. And so that made me know that I was doing the right thing by not doing that. But I want to swing you back to the context. So, say for example, there's a lady, that you're sweet on, and you mean well by her. You're not just looking at her TNA or whatever she offers. You see her as somebody that you think you could maybe, run the race with, and she declines your offer, but 6 months later she shows up, out and about and on the street, with another cat. How do you handle that? How do you feel about it first, and then how do you handle it, or do you handle it at all?
I don't know. I don't think I ever had that situation exactly with me, because I've been in one relationship for 33 years. But in my dating days, I don't think that really happened to me. But I knew I would have felt kind of little something. But in my 20s, I dated a lot, so it was like, not to brag, but multiple women. So, and I was honest with all of them. Even when I was dating my wife, when we first were dating, I let her know I'm dating other women. And I'm from New York and Detroit, because the first 5 years of my life is
You
in
didn't have
Detroit.
to tell nobody you was from New York. Trust me.
Right. I did not know. But I used to have both. As a kid, I had both. I had the what up doe accent and the Harlem accent at the same time. But for a long time, I had a girlfriend in Detroit and I had a girlfriend in New York. It was like that for me from the time I was like 17 years old. When I first started like really dating, it was like, because when I was young, I went to Detroit all the time. Like every other month, I was in Detroit. And so I had women on both both, coasts, so to speak. But, so for me, it was never like a rejection thing. It was just like, okay, you ain't feeling me, someone else will.
Well, man, God bless you for not having to feel the pangs of rejection, because I know them quite well. I got to pause for a hot second and shout out to Mo Rowe in the building. Thank you, darling, for checking in with us. Since you have moved to the front of the line as one of the most beloved ladies associated with the cave, so I just had to stop and give you your just due. Robert Hazard, talk to me, man. You have moved around quite a bit. I'm sure you've moved around enough to have rejected and both rejected. How do you feel, man, when you see that happening, and do you think men handle that better or women handle it better? I have a very, very, very clear answer I want to share, but I'm trying to, yeah.
Mine is a little different. I think, like Guy said, that he had been married for a number of years. I've been married for a number of years coming up. But is there something about seeing, somebody out that I like or interested in with another guy? Of course, that's the case. You always size them up and to see, what do they have that I don't have, that sort of stuff. But I don't know that I felt the same way about that. I don't know. Yeah, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for coming in with all that noise and echo,
Yeah,
Bill. Now it
echo
don't have
and
to be my
everything.
fault because I was muted.
But so we know that you're here now. We can hear everything. But
Hi, everyone.
I don't know, Sean, if I felt some kind of way about that. I mean, yeah, I saw a couple women that I was interested in that I got passed over on, but I sat in the cut and just waited, and that dude didn't stay around too much longer.
So let's get back to the original context, Robert. Who you think is pettier in that space?
Well, yeah, I said that. I think that it can be men because we're always sizing up the next dude.
Glenn, you late, so I get to share my sentiments before you share yours.
Well, y'all were talking about rejection and stuff, so I didn't really have anything to say about that one.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I knew you were going to say that. I just knew it.
Mel and I don't always agree, but we're twinsies on this one because I 100% agree with what Mel said, and I've seen the evidence of it. I've seen how petty men can be, and I think just like Mel said, it's tied to ego, but it's also tied to the fact that we are typically the pursuers, and we have to carry ourselves with a bit of and machismo and value. And when somebody is chosen over you, you're like, okay, well, what do they offer? What do they, not I think the classiest of our we aren't gonna be haters and be in your DMs talking about, he funny looking or he this or that, but I find that women do it in a much classier way. They're not gonna give you that power over them, and they're gonna say, oh, you guys look amazing and good for you and yada yada yada. Meanwhile, they're feeling a certain something and feeling a certain way. Glenn, now you can talk. The question was, do you think men or women are pettier when they have lost the object of their desire to another person?
I think men are super petty. If you ever took a girl from a guy, you'll know how petty they are.
You say that like you've done that. You out here taking women.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever done that, but I'm just saying it isn't about taking them. Just date somebody they used to date that they were hooked on, and they're real petty. And then some of them who never had a chance are even more petty. They'll be off in the inbox, begging to take her out.
I heard about a guy who he was divorced, and the next guy the lady dated opened all her doors for her, and the original guy, the ex-husband, they had children together. So they would still, have to connect and do business over, the children and the school schedules and all of that. And he would verbally say, I'm not going to open your door because dude after me started you on that.
Started you on that.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Started you like he got on crack or something.
Right.
He started
Right.
he got you hooked on that. I ain't doing that.
And I thought to myself, that's got to be the dumbest reason to not open the door for one. First of all, you should have been doing it when you had her, dummy.
Right, just because.
So he was just doing something that you weren't grounded enough to do in the first place.
Well, that's what Rob said. What your man won't do. Don't Rob always think like he Joe?
That's Joe. That's Joe, baby. That's
He like
Joe.
the light skinned Joe. He'll do what your man won't do.
It's
Come on,
interesting
Mel.
to bring that up though, right? To talk about like roles and responsibilities and what's gentlemanly. Like, at what point did we get together as a society and say a man is supposed to open a door for a woman? I mean, I do it because I was taught to do it.
Yeah.
But like, I wonder where some of this stuff comes from. Like, was it back in the day when doors were too heavy and a woman wasn't strong enough, so we had to? And then it's just,
Robert, you laughing, but I see that as a legitimate reason.
That's true.
If I live in a castle with a moat and a drawbridge,
You can't really open that door.
Man, that's true. Do you remember how you're on
He
this?
said a moat and a drawbridge.
I'm too young to remember castles and drawbridge.
Can I tell you where it come from?
Yes,
Tell
sir.
us.
Yeah.
Come
Okay.
on, guy.
Reason why you open doors for women back in the day, because women were the one that carried everything. So they carried the baby, they carried they carried everything. So they were carrying things. It was always something in their hand. So a man, he was supposed to open the door for her. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. That reason why a man's supposed to walk on the outside of the curb is because the woman. So if a car comes by and she won't get splashed.
You won't get splashed.
Yeah. So those were the things. Women were always carrying things, baby or something like that. So you had to open the door for her.
I've
Women
always
are
known.
amazed
I've
by the
always
walk.
known like why you walk on the outside and why you walk behind her up the stairs and in front of her down the stairs. I
Right.
never knew the opening door joint, but that makes
Castle
perfect
with
sense.
a moat, bro.
No, it wasn't the castle.
Everybody ain't even have babies for
He
you.
went medieval.
I,
You know what I'm saying? You say,
This is
the
a
only
Game
thing
of
he said
Thrones
is carrying
show
the
now.
baby.
I know.
Y'all know about those days.
That's Game of Thrones, Mel.
You ain't carrying the groceries.
Hey,
You carrying the groceries.
He opened the door before the dragon got to him.
my man Bizzle said castle doors are not light, so it makes sense. And what if she carrying a baby
What's up,
alligator
A baby alligator.
from out the moat, Glenn? From out the moat. Stay with the story.
Okay, y'all have lost it.
I'm just saying.
But the walking on the outside is kind of a phenomenon sometimes. I was walking with a woman one time down Michigan Avenue, and I kind of moved her to the inside, and a woman literally slowed her car down and was like, "That's the way you do it. That's how you do it." And I'm like, "Well, damn, that's just what I do." Like, thank you.
So if it ain't raining and there's no water on the curb, do you still walk on the outside? 'Cause if the only thing you're doing is preventing her from getting splashed, and there's no possibility of splashation.
Splash.
Or say,
Okay.
let's say 17th century, a horse, so she won't get run over by horses, anything like that.
But
Right.
In
On your
Chicago,
way,
it'll be
your
you
trust
taking
with
the
your
bullet
moat.
first. In
Right.
Chicago, it's you taking the bullet first
Yeah.
on the drive-by, basically.
Right.
But see, I never thought it had anything to do with water. I thought it was one of those dumb rules that if we got to die, I'm gonna die first. So
I'm gonna die
be hit
first
by
for
the
you,
car
baby.
first.
I got
If
you.
the
That's
car
what
That depends
jumps
on the
curb,
woman,
he
isn't
hitting
it?
both y'all.
Yeah,
Wait a
you're
minute.
a pretty big dude, Mel. If he can hit you and not hit her, like you're a pretty big dude,
But it's interesting that you say that because I was out with a woman and this was a while ago, and we were and I may have told this story.
like noon today.
Yeah.
A while ago, like
A
10
while ago,
minutes,
like noon today.
10 minutes before he got to the house.
Let me check. And we were walking across the street, and I go to grab, just to kind of move my hand so that she would pull back because the car was coming. She had a problem with me doing that.
You were trying to feel her on. You were trying to feel her on.
Well, kind of, but I mean, I was really trying to protect her. I'm
See,
like,
I
I
knew it.
got you. I
knew
got
it.
you.
You was
She's like,
feeling
no, I
her.
don't need you to get me.
Wow.
I don't need
But
you to
I'm
get
that dude though, Robert. Like if I'm in the car and
Yeah.
we have to come to a fast stop, I'm the one who sticks his arm out so that she doesn't hit the dash. I mean, I've been that way since I was 17 years old, dude. I can't even tell you why.
Was that your driving, brother? Did, you did that, or I don't know.
Oh, that's what we doing.
Wow, Robert. Wow. We let you host one week and you come back thinking you're a comedian now. We think we're Mr. Comedian now. We're funny.
I thought we was better than that. Hey man, that had been plaguing me all week, man, because I heard so many petty stories about guys who lost the girl, and then and they're in their inbox dogging the dude that they chose, and I found that interesting. But I also thought this, and I was telling
winners get to write the history. Remember that all you do is they lost the girl.
I was also thinking about this. Everybody always talks about how when they get off the market, they get this influx of attention, right? The minute everybody knows that you rocking with somebody and you're exclusive, then out of the woodwork they come, whether you're male or female. I see male looking me off like a picture, like I don't want to talk about this one.
I ain't got no problem with it.
Oh, I know you don't, man. I'm just messing with you. But listen, so my thought is that's a real safe move, though, and I think that's what people miss. When you're now taken, and you choose to speak up now, say for example, and Mel, I'm sure you and Mo can handle this. I'm just using you as an example. Now everybody knows Mel has this beautiful, talented, powerful woman as a wife, Mo. Now 10 ladies all of a sudden want to chime in and say, "Oh, I thought I had a shot," or "Oh, I had a crush on you," or "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Well, it's real safe to say that now, because Mel can do nothing about it now. He can give it no interest, even if he would. You don't have to suffer rejection, right? So you can put that out there now. I kind of find that as cowardly. I kind of find that a cowardly move. Like you had all the time, especially when men do it. Like you had all the time in the world to speak up.
But Raj, what is your problem tonight?
He's an
Raj
alpha.
Bruce, what has our producer been drinking? Somebody tell me. I leave. I come late for like 15 minutes. I hear splashation.
Well, first of all, Glenn, it's 95 degrees and you got on a black suit. We need to talk about that first.
It's a blazer. Thank you, sir.
It's still black and it's a jacket.
I got air conditioning too, Sean. To be talking about me.
Yeah, you need more than air conditioning.
So let's talk about this. I think
come on, Mel.
I think cowardly is a strong word, bro.
Yeah, really.
I don't.
That's a strong word.
That's kind of mean.
That's like, you know what I'm saying? You was at the store and you saw a tie you wanted and you ain't get it at the time, and you came back and the tie was gone, and you was like, "Man, I wish I would have got that tie." You know what I'm saying? You wasn't a coward because you ain't bought a tie. You just didn't get the tie. You ain't speak up and grab the tie at the time.
That's a horrible analogy, Mel.
But I'm saying,
you just
horrible
compared your
analogy.
relationship to a tie. Both of y'all are off tonight. Both of y'all take a night off.
but
I'm just saying it's easy to be vocal when somebody can do nothing about it. And you had all the time in the world to speak your piece when somebody could have taken advantage of your interest. But now when somebody can't take advantage of your interest, you're willing to speak up. That's cowardly.
It's a dangerous world out here, bro. Everybody ain't willing to take them risks. I mean, it ain't. It's like saying, you cowardly if this probably is not another one. So people have dreams, goals, and aspirations to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, or start something, right? But they got bills, so they stay on a job. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, how come you ain't taking the chance to go live your dreams?
You a coward.
No, I don't think this is one of those things.
You are not a risk taker.
that you can swap out other life experiences with, because we're talking about the reception of a human response.
But Sean, what if they didn't know?
Your business.
What if they
No, that's not the same as personal rejection.
What if they left town and
bourbon for
they
everyone.
come back and Mel's all married and they didn't know?
Right.
And she's like, "Well, I didn't know. I thought I had a chance, but I was gone.
I didn't get back in time."
Yeah, I didn't get back in time.
They should have said something before they left. Why didn't they say something before they left? Is my question.
Sean, you a little mean. That's your problem. One of them.
You need
One
a
of
What is
drink.
that you drinking?
One-
That must be it. That's
He's
what-
drinking a lot, and yeah, he got the whole bottle.
Yeah.
Look, I'm like Mel was
Like
at the House
Mel.
of Blues with the bottle of wine, and Mel was drinking the bottle of wine.
You're
to
doing
the
a mail
head.
at the House of Blues. Yeah, I'm worried about you, brother. Really?
Hey man, look, let's shift gears real quick. I don't need y'all to agree with me.
Okay.
Whatever. I still believe what I said.
I think women like the challenge. I think a woman's ego is a challenge. Like, can I still rock with him? Does he still like me? I think it might be more to that than anything. Because not to insult women on here, but
Please don't.
women can be
Sean
catty.
does that enough.
Women can be catty, and that could be part of it. You know what I'm saying?
I just think
Well-
it's real easy to speak your piece when somebody is no longer available.
Now, women can be calculating. So women, fight me if I'm wrong. I'm not.
Can
so
be.
It's okay. Women can definitely be calculating. They can know you have a woman and then come up and be like, "Oh, are you single? We should do something." And they
Well-
can know good and well, and that's the other end of it. So I kind of agree with you there, Sean, because it is kind of cowardly because you know the truth, and now you're just gonna try him to see what he does.
Well, here's
So
what I
that's
believe.
how that-
Here's what I believe, Glenn. I believe this to the core of my heart.
Yeah.
Women more than men want to see if what you say you have is as strong as you say it is. Men
Okay.
don't really care about that. Men want to know
I
if
think it's
if
equal.
you'll cheat. That's what men want to know. Women want to know, does she have the hold on you that she appears to have?
Yeah, but women. I'm sorry. but
I'm gonna let you all answer that.
I was about to say something that would
Robert,
probably-
you got the most experience, don't you? Be Shatner.
All right, so you back in the house seat.
Okay.
I don't know that that's true. I don't know that. I mean, I've had a few women slide me a card or two if they've seen me out with a woman, but I mean that was back in the day when I was
when you was accepting those cards.
When you
when I
had
was
hair.
yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if I had hair back then, but that's the thing. I mean, I think things have changed. I think what people do, at least, and men do the same thing. They sit it out and wait because while she may be posting this dude or we may be posting this woman, chances are if we wait it out, they may not be around after 6 months to a year.
I have had no comments since me and Mo started. So like before we even got married, like when we went public, it wasn't I've got nothing. Like my DMs were dry. Nobody was like, "Oh, is this gonna work out?" Like nothing. And we used to joke about it. We were like, "Man, here come," because we don't post people, right? We just, even when we were dating other people, we didn't post people. And it's like, all right, so now that we're with somebody, let's see what it's like. And I'd be like, "Man, your DM's about to blow up." And she had some people that came in and was like, "Oh, if I'd have known you were really single, whatever." But
You
Like,
were
I
a
ain't-
lonely man with empty arms.
But
and
you know
feel
what I
like
believe?
said
You know what I
message
believe in that
communicated.
in that sense, Mel. Though I also believe that women that are about that life, they're like the shark in the water that can smell the blood, and you
ain't no
don't
blood over
you
here.
don't show no blood in the water.
yeah.
So it's a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? Like if they detect blood in the water, then they think maybe somebody can get got. And that's one thing that I enjoy about your marriage and your relationship with your wife and the way you're navigating it. I have a man crush on men that celebrate their women. That's my thing, right? So the way you rock her and celebrate her and that kind of thing, that to me that's the dopest shit ever. And so there's no blood in the water with you. So I don't think you're gonna get that. Plus, you're a very no nonsense personality. You know what I'm saying? So everything you do, you're hyper serious about whatever that pursuit is, and so I believe that comes across as well. I remember somebody was trying to fix me up with somebody years ago, and me and the person went out a time or two, and I moved on, and the lady came back to me that introduced us and said, I introduced her to you hoping that it would force her to get her shit together because I knew you weren't going to take any bullshit off of her. Of course, I didn't know that context at the time. She just did some stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm not even trying to get down like this, you know. So I think people kind of can sense what comes with you, and I think you're just kind of that dude that they don't see that, you know, they don't do that. Hey man, let's move on a little bit.
You're like hardcore, Mel.
Mel Roberson, the hardcore husband.
The hardcore husband.
Yeah. Hey, check this out, man. I know this is a hard term, but I was thinking about you guys, and I was wondering, man, what you, and this is real personal, and I hope that you guys are willing to be transparent. But I want to know what you really do to protect your mental health. Robert, I hate you so much right now. I just want you to.
Wow, that was he said he was gonna get personal. Okay.
But I want to know what you do. And Guy, I'm gonna start with you. What do you do to really protect your mental health? Because nobody knows what the world is like for the black man out here like we do. We can talk about it, we can romance it, we can have meetings about it, but you know, to be in our skin and to be in our gender and have to move around in this world is a very unique experience. And so I'm just curious as to and it could be something like golfing. It could be, you know, for Guy it could be his show. You know, for Mel it could be cooking. But I'm just curious as to what you do. You know, what's the thing that you say, I do this. If I didn't do this, I'd probably kill everybody in the room. like what is that thing? Glenn, what is that thing for you?
If I didn't believe in me, if I didn't believe in my abilities, if I didn't believe in my skills, if I didn't believe in my talent, and when you walk in with an air of nothing can stop me, then there isn't a lot people can throw at you that'll trip you up. I mean, I walked in a room with a bunch of VC firms, billions of dollars circulating, coming to us and coming to me and coworkers asking us, okay, where should we invest this money? They didn't look at me crazy. They didn't be like, well, do you know about what we're doing or anything like that? And I've heard those stories. I actually just listened to a podcast where a lady started a black VC firm, and literally she went in to raise money, and they talked more about the scarf she was wearing than what she did, and then they kind of drill down to what high school she went to before they even asked about her business or anything else. Those are the kind of slights and microaggressions that we see, and I probably have seen them too. But I'm so confident in my abilities and what I bring to the table now until those don't impact me anymore.
And that's something that you would say is something that you use for your mental health sake?
That's what I use for my mental health. Yeah, I do. When you believe in yourself strongly enough, there is nothing that can stop you. Your mind is an amazing tool. And if you train it to what you needed to accomplish, there is nothing that can stop you. And most importantly, there's no one that can stop you.
Yeah, I was thinking more like chocolate, but you know, no, I'm just messing with you. Mel, I would definitely want to hear your answer because you do so many different things, and part of those are things that I understand the artist part of you that you have to balance, the entrepreneur part of you. I guess I kind of get that piece too on some degree. It can be exhausting. There have been some days when I was, wearing all the different hats I wear, and I honestly just felt like there was a big hole in my center. Like I
Right.
just
And I'm not saying it doesn't get tiring. It doesn't get exhausting, and sometimes you do want to just,
Didn't Glenn have his turn already?
let
he,
it
he did.
flow.
He's taking yours on purpose. Mel is what he's doing. He's taking yours on purpose.
Don't make me clap my hands twice and have you disappear like
You
last
know
time.
what, Raj? Whatever he's paying you, I'll pay
Glenn,
you
be
double not
gone.
to do it. I'll do it. Thank you, Raj. You know,
Raj went to get a drink. Otherwise,
right. He ain't on point for you, you know.
Raj ain't there for you no more.
But Mel, what do you do, man? To with all that you do and all that you entertain and all that you go to sleep at night and wake up with, you know, what do you do to make sure that doesn't become too much for you?
I generally lose myself in personal development. That's why the library is what you see. The most of the time when I'm in the car, I'm not even listening to music. I'm listening to like a book on tape, something on Audible, Earl Nightingale, Tony Robbins, Dennis Waitley, Brian Tracy, stuff like that. Because I believe like your mind is like a bank account, so you have to make so many positive deposits, so that when life shows up to make a withdrawal, you don't end up with insufficient funds in the bank account of your mind. And the way that I do that is by programming positive philosophies on a regular basis. I got books all over the place, and I'm always listening to something. That's one thing. The other thing is therapy, especially in the Black communities. And I know Robert is a huge fan of therapy. I was talking to a friend today. She had 2 different therapy appointments. She was like, I got 1 at 10 and 1 at 5, 2 different therapists. And I'm like, man, that's actually dope that you're doing that, right? So therapy is good because sometimes we need somebody else to process what it is that we're going through. And then the other thing, man, is like scheduling fun, scheduling things that I enjoy and that are fun and that make me laugh and genuinely make me happy. That's another thing too. So those are just some of. I can go on and on and on, but those are just the 3 that came to mind.
I like that though. That's real powerful. Guy, what do you do, man? You have a lot on your plate, man. What do you do to keep yourself grounded and centered and you know?
Well, first and foremost, I concur with therapy. I'm in therapy. I have 2 therapists. I'm in grief counseling, and matter of fact, I was in grief counseling with one therapist when my mother passed away in 2014, and then I have another therapist that I had since my wife passed away last year. So therapy is first and foremost for me. My wife and I, we always got counseling. I got marriage counseling, family counseling, individual counseling. We always dealt with that. Ourselves, my wife and I were relationship coaches ourselves. We were part of the 5 love languages consultation. The other thing I do is I'm a gardener. I garden. I grow my own vegetables, and it's what I call my place of zen. And without my gardening, I don't know what I would do. I love getting my hands dirty. I love growing things. And matter of fact, my kids, they been bugging me for years to actually build a greenhouse. I can grow my vegetables all year long because they say, by the time the winter comes, they got to eat store-bought vegetables, and they hate it. The other thing is I take up kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. So that's another thing that helped me. It helped with my endorphins and getting things out, and helping me with my weight loss. So the combination of those things, plus my radio show, of course, that's my baby. So every morning being on the air, just helping people out and motivating folks and getting them up, getting them out, going. That's helps me. So, and it make my show work. I have to stay on top of things. So I do a lot of, same as Mel, with a lot of personal development, and I bring people on personal developers or coaches or entrepreneurs just to keep me sharp and my listeners sharp. It helps me to move on with things because I'm a person that it's hard for me to deal with loss. One of the reasons why having therapy helps with me because I take loss very hard. I had abandonment issues from the time my father passed away when I was 5 years old. Like I said, I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. When he died, we moved to Harlem, and it was a culture shock for me. So I had abandonment issues from those time on. So it was like losing people was like a big depressing thing for me. So being in therapy, it helps me to speak it out. And plus, being a life coach, I have like 6 coaches. So yeah, I have a coach for just about everything. I have a coach for my time management. I have a coach for my business. I have a coach for my accountability. I have a clarity coach. So I have a coach, and I always recommend to my clients, if your coach don't have a coach, get a new coach. So for me, counseling and coaching and therapy, that does it for me. But the other thing is, like I said, gardening and kickboxing. That's like that the 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 hands-on thing that keeps me going. And plus I also have a hobby where I train dogs too. So because I love animals.
That's dope, man. You said something that I thought was particularly interesting, and the artist in me gravitated toward it. Most of the things, particularly in an artist space, that artists do that people enjoy, it's a feeding for the artists themselves, and so there's some duality to it. Um, it would appear that we're doing it for other people, but in actuality, there's a big feeding that we experience as well. But the outgoing is so much more powerful, at least to the naked eye, if you want to say it that way. That the fact that we're being fed is often overlooked. Robert, what do you do, man? To
So here's what I do. Thank you for asking. As Mel said, I think therapy has helped me, but I also think I walk, I podcast, I listen to podcasts as I'm walking, and then I rarely watch television. I used to watch a lot of television, HDTV, and other things, but I've kind of changed, my mindset, and I believe in who I am now. And my goal is to inspire other people to be good as well. So I like the whole mentoring piece of it. It gives me an opportunity to give back and and to and to speak into people. So I'm no longer, in also the whole boundary piece that the whole therapy piece of it has helped me with. That I kind of know who I am now, and I'm no longer that people pleaser that I was, years ago. And so I feel good about some of the things that I'm accomplishing. Do I have setbacks? Absolutely. But my goal is to see other people win and succeed, and that I get a high off for doing that.
For that.
Quite honestly.
Yeah, me too.
what
Also,
I've
this
what
show,
I've
Sean, is really good therapy too. If you think about it,
say it again, Glenn. What'd you say?
this show is therapy too.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
show
Yeah, with these
actually
questions.
is our safe space. And if you think about what we've been through in the 3 years we've done the show, it's given us. We all have personal relationships with each other in different ways. We've known each other for decades, but it really has given us a different energy that we can survive the world with what we do. I think this show means the world to me because I get to share it with you guys and we get to share it with the people that watch it. And, I've had people tell us how good shows were and everything else. And to your point, you feed off that and it is mental. But there is a real reaction you get for helping people. There is a real physical response that your body gives for helping people. So it's not just you like doing it. It truly is healthy for you to pour into people. So I truly believe in doing that as well, like Robert said. And I think this show pours into people in a way um, that's different, unique, and special and talks to people. We bring on people like Guy, who I have to say, I love the way you've honored your wife. You came on the first time and when she was kind of going through her illness, and then you've come back on since she left us. And I have to give you props, brother, for what you've done, the way you loved her, while she was here and the way you still love her and honor her memory even after that. I think that's just powerful and admirable.
Thank you. And
Absolutely.
this show is very therapeutic. I can say that. So when I catch you guys Thursdays, it's very therapeutic because this is something I think black men need, and it's bigger than what you guys may think it is, but we as black men sometimes we're forgotten sometimes in certain spaces. We may be bigged up in certain places, the Mandingo thing or whatever like that, but in certain areas we're forgotten. We're like the invisible man, like the book The Invisible Man. We're just that at times, and so something like this is very therapeutic.
And here's the other piece, guy. Like as I prepare for the week, and my weeks are different. Sometimes I'm sitting on topics for 4 or 5 days. Sometimes Friday, something comes across and I gotta hold it till Thursday. But I feel like it's so powerful that I want to share with you guys. And then sometimes it's something that I came across 10 minutes before we aired. But oftentimes, man, I can bring things to you guys that I can't bring to anyone else because the forum that we have removes whatever perception I might suffer from my transparency or my curiosity or whatever. And so I get to discuss things with you guys that I might not be able to discuss with even friends I've had for 30 years and grew up with, just because the minute we hit this cave, we know that all the gloves are off. We know that all the machismo is off. We know we're not trying to protect ourselves. We're trying to offer the most vulnerable versions of ourselves so that somebody else can benefit. And so that's a huge therapeutic part for me, is that I can present questions to you guys from a very vulnerable space, and I know you're not going to laugh, you're not going to judge. You're going to look at it as something that you can unpack and figure out the best thing for, or the best recourse for, or your best response for. I don't have a set therapy practice. What I've learned, and I maybe could utilize one, but what I've learned is that I kind of do what I need to do daily.
Right.
Whatever that day feels like for me,
Right.
then that's what I do. Like some days, some people know that I'm back in corporate America, and so I have to go into the office downtown 2 days a week, and I kind of know what day I'm having based on what happens in the car on the drive down. Like I may not turn on music for the whole drive down, or I may listen to some Andreas Vollenweider, who's a harpist that I'm fond of, or it may be some house music, but I get up and I'm in a certain space, and I know where I am based on what I need to get through the day. If I'm at work and I need to put on noise canceling headphones because the chatter is too much for me, I know I'm kind of in a vulnerable, space where I'm struggling to focus. You know what I'm saying? And then other times I don't need that. But like, just like everybody else, I mean, I have my music outlet. I got a chance to do that this past weekend. Shout out to the Noops at Calumet Lansing alumni chapter that I helped charter. But they brought me in to be the entertainment at their first big fundraising gala, and I hadn't been in that space in quite a while, and that was a fun space to come out with my full band. But what people don't realize is that's weeks of preparation, and that becomes therapy for me, because I have to find the time to sit with this music and to get it so that, because I'm one of those singers that doesn't like to read off a tablet. So all the lyrics I have to have committed to memory, and all of that I realize is therapeutic for me. It makes me sit down, and it makes me focus on something, and it makes me work and concentrate on something, and that takes me away from all the stuff that the world throws at you, man. So
And you sounded good, brother. I got to tell you, you sounded
man,
good.
I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to get back out here a little bit, man, and and see what I can do, man. But I really want to make sure, man, that we don't lose the mental health focus that we have begun. And I applaud you guys, particularly you, Robert, for being so aggressive about that being a part of this show. our desire to address mental health and the hypersensitivity associated with it, and how it affects us as black men, because that's a whole thing. You know, a lot of times we can't even talk about the frailties we experience in mental health because we're so
Right.
bound by how the
Mhm.
world sees us and what the world has made us be. And I can only imagine what somebody like Guy does or deals with every day after having lost a spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's there for him?
Mhm.
You know, who's making sure that he stays on point and doesn't become consumed by the cards life has dealt him. And here's the reality, man. Everybody's cards affect them different ways. Somebody could have some cards that we think are not a big deal, right? But they could affect them with the weight that the loss of a spouse affects Guy, because we're all very different, you know. Robert mentioned last week being nervous hosting the show, and simply because of some corners I've turned, it's not a pressure filled space for me, right? But that's not Robert's story. You know what I'm saying? And so
Robert wanted some attention when he
he
said that. I'm so,
Well, you guys
so
did
nervous,
live
ladies. I'm
live,
so
live
nervous.
from the what is it? What's the one that you all do? Did you and
Secrets from the cave.
Secrets from the
Secrets
Cave?
from the cave.
And I started to do a Secrets from the Cave, but I mean, you guys do that so well.
yeah, they have it so well, Robert. I don't even want to,
Thank
you know.
you.
I
would
figure
not
mine
have-
would be scoffed at because they do it so well, you know.
I would not have done it justice, so I'm glad I did it.
Production team, give me a time window. What I got left, so I don't bring something
Yeah,
too
can
meaty.
Raj tell the time right now? Because he's so
3
drunk.
minutes.
All he's supposed to.
3 whole minutes, huh?
3
Where
minutes.
we gone?
Real quick, then I got 3 minutes, man. What does a woman mean, Glenn, when she says a guy was too nice for her?
See, why do I get all those questions?
Because you can handle it.
Well, that's true. What does a woman mean when she says a guy was too nice for her?
Like, why didn't you like the guy? Oh, he was too nice. I could just walk all over him, and I'm doing the whole hand
It
thing.
means that he probably showed you something that you had never seen before in a man.
Ooh, what you say?
So your definition of a man was this narrow, and he opened your world up to this, but you couldn't see this because you're still looking through that tunnel of men that you've run through and all those bodies that you've left run over that were trifling, didn't know how to treat you, didn't know how to open a door, didn't know how to let you walk on the inside of the sidewalk, didn't walk behind you up the stairs, things like that. So too nice is a cowardly way of saying I didn't understand what he brought me because he brought me something different.
Mel don't like that word, coward.
No, no, that wasn't it. Glenn just regurgitated everything from the show.
I didn't. How did I just regurgitate everything from the
Open
damn
doors,
show?
walk
But
on
it
the
sounded
side,
good, though, didn't it?
Hell.
up the stairs. You know,
June says too
taking
nice.
bullet form
Too
and
nice
all
is
that
cold
stuff.
for he's boring. I don't think I
That's
agree
not
with that
always the
necessarily.
truth,
But
June. That
Can
is
I
not
get a
always
practical psychology version?
come on,
go
guy.
ahead, guy.
Okay. Reason why is what I call the bad boy syndrome, and men have what I call the trophy syndrome. So now all women have the bad boy syndrome. All women. And all men have the trophy syndrome. So what happens is that because the women have the bad boy syndrome, it's related to power. Bad boys show a sense of power in a sense of urgency and emergency. So what happens is it's like a rescue, it's like a fireman, because firemen have the sense of urgency and emergency. So women are attracted to that because and that's what bad boys bring to the table. So they're saying that a guy is too nice, not saying they want to be mistreated. They just want to edge to a man. You know what I'm saying? They want to edge to a man. Just like we as men, we want a woman to, she don't have to be that trophy that every single man wants, but she has to be that trophy that's our type. So we have that trophy syndrome. Every man does. So what happens is we want to put our women on display. And what women want to do is actually be comfortable with a man, like be secure. So the bad boy syndrome has to do with their security, and our trophy syndrome has to do with our display, because we like to see, we're
visual.
See it.
So Guy, I love you. I love you like a play cuz. I wish we had asked this question first.
Right.
Because we could do a whole show on how I disagree with your answer.
Because you run after those firemen, you gonna run in that burning house one too many times, and he gonna leave you in that house.
Yeah,
I'm just giving my take on the practical psychology version. The practical psychology, but in my terminology. But
right. So what I'm gonna do is
study on both, which Princeton did the case study. That's what they came up with. I just
well, I'm always going to push back on anything that says all. Anything that says all, like there's a universal affirmative. Like, I don't think all men do anything. I don't think all women do anything. There may be a disproportionate amount that you can count on doing A, B, or C, but I don't think all men or all women do anything. So what I'd love to do is put a bookmark in this particular subject matter. I'd like to make sure, Guy, you on deck next week.
Okay.
And make sure you listening in, because I want to broach this subject again.
And I don't want a trophy. I just can't help it because the women I dated were hot. Okay,
Right.
It's my fault.
I'm sure we
all
over
like
time,
trophy,
man. And Mel looked like he got something he wish he had time to say.
Yeah, cut it off before Mel says something. Come on, Raj, run the credits. Let's go.
Hey, man, I love y'all.
I was just giving the Princeton study. That's all.
That's all right. Hey, that's all right. Love y'all, man. Great show. Everybody that's watching, I didn't even ask y'all to copy and paste the link, but if you've been rocking with us, you know what to do and you know how to support us. We'll see you next Thursday at 9. It's been Live from the Cave for sure.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.